Okay. Good morning. Thanks to everyone for being here today. My name is Courtney Breckenridge Carver, and we're here to talk about the SIU System Strategic Plan update process for fiscal year 26 through 31. We're talking today on behalf of Dr. Girish Gupchuk and the system office about our efforts to update the plan relative to the last fiscal year or the last 5 fiscal years, and working with the team from the Strategic Planning Committee to lead this process. I'd like to turn it over to Dr. Slayton and Dr. Grove Scott to introduce themselves now.
Thanks, Courtney.
Morning. Oh,
Go ahead, Vicki, please. You go.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Vicki Grove Scott, and I'm the Dean for the School of Education at Southern Illinois University, Carbondale, and very happy to be a part of this team and to work with everyone, including Chris.
Thanks, Vicki. My name is Chris Slayton, as Courtney alluded to. I have the pleasure of serving as our Associate Provost for Research and Dean of the Graduate School here at SIUE. Also, will echo Vicki's comment and say it's a pleasure to serve in this capacity. And then just the last thing I'll say is I know both Courtney and Carrie from CPAN have worked very hard to get some pretty robust data from our alums, from employers, from students, faculty, staff, for you all. So I hope that you will enjoy the opportunity to hear from them about the results of this, and we look forward to a discussion.
Great. Thank you both. In addition to Dr. Slayton and Dr. Grove Scott, we have broad representation across the SIU system from our Edwardsville, Carbondale, and School of Medicine campuses. So thank you to every member of the Strategic Planning Committee for their efforts in helping advise and guide through this process. So briefly, the strategic process and shared vision. The SIU System Strategic Plan is a living document, a living plan that reflects our collective commitment to student success, community impact, and innovation. As we look forward to the next 5 years through this renewal process, our goal is to continue working toward the overarching objectives of the plan while making necessary updates to reflect emerging needs and priorities for our campuses, for our communities, and of course, for our students. So we'd like to take a few minutes and talk a little bit about the plan review, some of the feedback we've received so far, and beginning with the end in mind, here are our current goals through the fiscal year 21 through 26 plan. So of course, goal 1, academic innovation and student success. Students are always at the center of everything that we do as a public university system. Goal 2, anti-racism, diversity, equity, and inclusion. This is both a specific goal and something underpinning each of the objectives under each of the other goals. Community impact. This is a massive priority for the system, probably best reflected through the investment in our Office of Community Engagement and the Institute for Rural Health, which are the first system-wide centers. Goal 4, research, creative activity and partnerships, making sure that we're building those collaborative opportunities to serve through research and other partnerships. Faculty and staff, of course, a strong campus community is driven by those that serve and make sure that we're showing up in our best way for students each day. And infrastructure, looking at both financial, sustainability, and also our financial state of mind. So let's talk a little bit about what we're hearing so far. As Dr. Slayton mentioned, we have done extensive surveys through the campus climate survey. There was a section specifically dedicated to the strategic plan, as well as reaching out directly to our alumni. We had over 1,800 responses from the alumni, so huge thank you to them for taking the time to give back, and also to the faculty, staff, and students who shared their thoughts through the campus climate survey. I would also note that there is a survey available to accompany this town hall. If you go to the system strategic plan page, you can see a link to the survey there. It takes 10 minutes or less, so we'll plug that a couple of times here today. It's a great opportunity to give your feedback in addition to any comments or questions shared today. So as we reviewed these survey results, and huge thank you to Dr. Carrie Butts-Wilmsmeyer, Director of the Center for Predictive Analytics, for taking these massive data sets and helping interpret them into action for the Strategic Planning Committee. We've seen a lot of alignment and agreement in the results. Academic innovation and student success are consistently ranked highly by all groups responding to the survey. Research and creative activity also emerged as a strong priority among all groups. Faculty, staff, and support, as well as our campus infrastructure, both physical and financial, are seen as essential to supporting the goals of the system. And community impact, again, rose as a distinctive priority, just slightly behind those core academic priorities. We're also seeing some emerging priorities identified by groups. Huge emphasis emerged from each of the different stakeholder groups around student affordability and access. We've also seen a lot of comments around workforce development and talent pipelines as being critical for the system to look at moving forward. We saw within the student responses a strong emphasis on mental health and well-being, and a little bit of mixed interest in digital transformation and artificial intelligence. Definitely something that's newer to the conversation as we move into the next 5 years. So digging in a little bit deeper in a couple of these activities, for workforce and capacity, there's strong support for all of the current goals around faculty and staff. Compensation, staffing, and morale impact the ability of the system to implement these goals, and these conditions directly influence our ability to deliver on the objectives within them. So what does this mean for 2026 and beyond? Clearly, we have a strong foundation to build from. There's clear alignment on our core academic priorities. We did see an opportunity to improve the communication of that impact, more consistent messaging from the system around how we're advancing for each of these goals. Again, a strong need to address affordability and workforce priorities as we move forward, and the importance of clear shared language across stakeholders. So before we jump into the question and answer portion of this, I would like to remind everyone that this is a system strategic plan, that we're looking at what the SIU system can do together across our 3 campuses and the many faculty, staff, and students and communities that make up that ecosystem. So before we dive into our questions, worth recapping our current goals. So again, academic innovation and student success, anti-racism, diversity, equity, and inclusion, community impact, research, creative activities and partnerships, faculty and staff, and infrastructure. So at this time, we are closely monitoring the chat. If you have comments or a question that you would like to ask, please go ahead and drop that in the live chat. Julie has kindly offered to copy those over so that we can address them directly live here. So let's begin with a reflection on our current goals. Please feel free to drop any comments again relative to any of these questions. So which areas of the current strategic plan feel most aligned with where SIU should be heading? Where do you see the strongest impact today? Are there areas that feel less clear or less connected to your experience? And again, please feel free to drop those questions in the chat. All right. Again, that chat is live. So please feel free to drop your comments or questions there. I'm going to go ahead and move to the next set of questions as well, or I'm going to move to the next set of questions. Can certainly come back to these, or if you have a question or a comment unrelated to what's up on the screen, feel free to drop that in as well. We're always looking at what comes next. That's a huge area of emphasis in this, obviously. What should be preserved, what should be prioritized, and what has changed or what has emerged as a new priority since we first conceived of this plan back in 2020, 2021, when it went live. Specifically, we're looking at things like what should be elevated as a higher priority in the next phase of the strategic plan. What emerging needs or challenges should the system be preparing for now? Or where do you see the greatest opportunity for system-wide impact? I'll also take a moment here to note again that the survey is live. And so please feel free to direct comments there. Share your thoughts and feedback. There's a lot of room for open-ended musings or thoughts, and also to kind of assess your prioritization of each of the current goals. You can also visit that same page and the SIU System Strategic Plan. If you pop that into Google or follow the link in the press releases, you can find not only those links to the survey, but also reports from the previous 3 years of strategic plan implementation. There's some excellent stories and successes that have been really the result of some hard work on behalf of our implementation teams. That's perhaps another area of interest to this group is we have 15 implementation teams working across the SIU system. Every team has representation from a co-chair from one of our 3 campuses, or 2 of the 3 campuses for each team, and more than 80 individuals across the campuses working specifically on those priority areas aligned with our goals and objectives from the current strategic plan. So huge thank you to any of our implementation team members who might be joining us today. Your efforts have made an invaluable difference in terms of our ability to move the system forward. I'm going to go ahead and move to the next set of questions. Again, please don't be shy. Julie and the team are monitoring the live chat closely, so we're happy to take any comments or questions here today. So some final questions or prompts for the group. What is one idea, opportunity, or concern that should be part of the next plan? And what should we make sure not to lose as we move forward? We certainly are deeply invested in the 6 goals that have guided us for the last 5 years. Not looking to necessarily replace anything, but to refine and sharpen our focus as we move forward, make sure that we're reflecting the current realities facing higher education in our communities today, and to address those things that help us best serve students, community, employers, and of course, the faculty and staff that bring our campuses to life. I'll go ahead and give a couple minutes here just in case anyone wants to share a comment or question. Okay, great. It looks like we have a comment here. SIU must assess and communicate the impact of national policy changes concerning international academic exchange, including faculty, students, and DACA students in the U.S. Thanks, Elizabeth, for sharing that. That is something that we've heard from some of our surveys and focus groups as well. So really appreciate your comment here today, and thank you for joining us. Other comments or questions? Your feedback is absolutely critical to this process. We've got a lot of time and energy, very committed group working to ensure that our strategic plan continues to guide the system moving forward. And we want to make sure that we take this opportunity to collect your feedback and help make sure that the next 5 years can be reflective of current realities. I'm going to go back and share our current goals as well, in case anyone watching has comments on the current goals. These were the 21 through 26 strategic plan goals for anyone that's just joined. We're looking for any feedback on what resonates as something that should continue to be a priority for the system as we move forward, and also what's missing. A lot has changed since 2020, so we want to make sure that we're reflective. Any other comments or questions from our audience? If not, if you'd like some time to reflect on the presentation today, on the system strategic plan, both as it stands today and as it should look moving forward, we certainly encourage you to visit the SIU system website, the strategic planning page. There is a link there to the community survey. You can complete that. It takes about 10 minutes or less. Gives you an opportunity to share your opinion on the relevance of each of these goals, and also any kind of comments that you'd like to share as we move forward in addressing emerging priorities as well. Okay. Any comments, any closing thoughts from this group as we wrap up today? Again,
I can just make one comment, Courtney. For both those that are here live, but those that might be watching this recorded session, we do very much value your feedback and input. This is one of the many ways that we are trying to gather information. So please reach out to Courtney or Carrie. Certainly you could reach out to myself or Vicky as well if you'd like. If you have any feedback regarding our current goals or thoughts about where the strategic plan should head in the future, or anything else that you'd like to share with us. But we value your input, which is why we're holding these town hall sessions. So please reach out.
Okay, great. Well, thanks again to everyone for joining us today. A copy of this recording will be shared on the system website. And again, please go check out the system strategic plan page. There you can find a ton of information on where we've been, where we're going, opportunity to share your feedback through the survey. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the strategic planning dashboard, which Dr. Butz-Wilmsmeyer has been diligently updating with live data as we collect it from our implementation teams. So thank you again to our strategic planning co-chairs, to Julie and Dr. Gupchuk's office for their efforts in coordinating this, to Dave for helping play tech today and make sure nothing went terribly askew, and of course to Carrie. So thank you all for your time today.